Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here once again with my man Vince Russo. We're going to talk about WrestleMania 13. We'll go off the script, talk about a few things that's happened at WrestleMania 13 where Vince Russo had his finger on the pulse, had his hand on the pin.
Yes.
Making sure that the viewer was entertained. Vince Russo, WrestleMania 13. Give me some 30,000 foot thoughts on what you remember from WrestleMania 13.
Oh my God. First of all, what I remembered, bro, was this was never really done before. And quite frankly, it really doesn't happen nowadays. I think when we started writing, and I always say we, bro, people got to understand at the very, very beginning, it was me, Cornette, and Vince. Okay. That didn't work out. So it was me and Vince. Okay. Vince knew that I needed another writer to work with because Vince had to run the company. So that's when Ed came in. So I always say, me and Ed, but WrestleMania 13 might have been prior to Ed. But bro, one thing we really did that was never done before is, bro, we really made the pay-per-views an extension of the television show. I mean, up until this point, the pay-per-views were match after match after match after match. Bro, you can't do that when you got a weekly television show going on. I mean, we made sure that, the matches were longer. Listen, bro, the pay-per-view is where the wrestling fans get their wrestling. That no doubt. You guys want to go out and have a 20-minute match, a 30-minute match, knock your socks off. However, we do have to keep the stories going. And not only that, bro, we want to get them to Raw the following night. Yeah. But I think now it's gone away from that again. And I think now, we just saw the Royal Rumble. We're just coming off the Royal Rumble. I think now we're right back to match. So I enjoy doing that, bro, because it forced us to work on the pay-per-views, like it was a regular television show. Yeah. And it was really episodic and it kept everything going. And I even feel like today that's the way they should do it. But they got away from a lot of things, bro,
I agree. I mean, episodic television. That's what it's all about. To me, that's what got me to the dance as far as being a fan, and that's what kept me a fan was the episodic feel to it. If it's just match upon match upon match, like you're kind of taking the luster away from what we're aiming for, which is the pay-per-view, right? Like we're building the story. It's all about episodic television. The payoff is the pay-per-view.
Right.
Now it's just the pay-per-view. The reason why the pay-per-view feels like a Raw or a SmackDown because there's no distinction there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it just feels like a glorified weekly show because there's no build up to it.
And bro, that's why we even loved Sunday Night Heat before the pay-per-view, because now all of a sudden, bro, this was a beautiful tool because now all of a sudden you were tuning into a free show and the whole idea was, bro, you got an hour of programming now to make them buy the pay-per-view. Right. Bro, that's the thing, Chris. Back then, it was all about buying the pay-per-view. That doesn't exist today because there's no longer is a pay-per-view business in wrestling.
Yeah. Plus, you got a network that's being leased over to NBC. It's like we don't have to build toward the pay-per-view. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So we start off with a tag team elimination match. So I remember a lot of 13, and so I went and watched a portion of it again. And this was really interesting. When I watched it, I was like, oh, yeah. So I remember I think we talked before recently about the new Blackjacks, Blackjack Bradshaw and Blackjack Wyndham. Now, I'm interested to know what was the rhyme and reason behind Wyndham coming back and teaming up with Bradshaw?
Well, bro, you got to understand too, like that was done before me. So like I really can't tell you the reasoning of doing that because I was not a part of that. But when I did take over, they were already in existence. And bro, for me, it just wasn't working. I mean, you had these two big blackjacks or cowboys. And bro, listen, you got to understand too. I remembered Blackjack Lanza and Blackjack Mulligan. I remembered them as a kid. And, you know, again, they came up with this team before I really started writing more on a full-time basis. And, you know, I mean, bro, see, I think the psychology was a little different because I think with before I came in, the mentality was, I'm going to coin a phrase of the great Dutch Mantel. We got a bunch of good little hands. Bro, when I started writing, I don't want good little hands. I want everybody to be over. I don't want to have throwaway matches. I don't want to have jobber matches. I don't want to have good little hands. Yes. I want everybody to be over. And those guys, you know, were not really a group or a team that I really felt we were going to get over to a must-see TV type of event. And that's why, and, you know, bro, see, I'll never forget it, too, because I think this is how my heat started with JBL, because I told them that. I told those guys, I had to sit down two veterans. I mean, JBL, like, kind of just started before I got there, but I'm sitting down with Barry Windham, and I got to be honest with these guys and look these guys in the face and say, you know, creatively, I just don't think this team or this angle is going to work. Yeah. And that's what was hard, Chris, because it's like, all right, bro, do I lie to these guys? Do I string these guys along? Or do I tell them the truth and then I'm going to have heat for telling them the truth? But I told them the truth. And, bro, I'll be honest with you. I think from that point on, JBL did not like me because I was just honest with him.